Hello and welcome. I'm delighted you can join us today with Action Tutoring, the wonderful charity that really is making a difference to students' lives. Lila, it's great to have you on board again. I know you've already done a webinar for us, and so thanks for coming back, especially this time of year, because you guys are super busy at the moment, aren't you?
Hi, Katie. Yeah, hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's a really busy time for Action Tutoring. We're starting to go back into schools to support our pupils again, and also attending quite a lot of events and doing different marketing events across the country to get enough volunteer tutors as well over the next few months to work with the children.
Wonderful. And I think the thing is about tutoring is it does make a massive difference, doesn't it? And I know you've got a slide that will show the impact that you've had in particular, but we know as teachers that if you're working with a child one-to-one, it just helps. They just get it a bit more. And so it's a really powerful tool. And also, I think when I've done my tutoring, I have learned so much about sort of how I communicate and how I speak to people. So you're kind of increasing skills yourself, aren't you, as a teacher? As well as kind of giving something back. I mean, I know we always give back anyway through teaching.
Yeah, and another thing I would say is that all of our tutoring in person takes place in groups, so you're never alone with the child. But that also means you're going into tutoring with a group of other volunteer tutors, and so there's that other crossover there around those conversations that you can have with those other volunteers about how tutoring is going for them. And then obviously, if you've got a wealth of teaching experience, that is something that the other volunteers are going to really be there to lap up and like want to make the most of those conversations and build community.
Yeah, so you can sort of share best practice, but also, you know, kind of almost coach and mentor some of the other volunteers at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean and those are really great skills to have, aren't they? Fantastic.
It's kind of like a 360 journey, because a lot of the other volunteers might be interested at the point in their career journey where they might be students or they're in another profession and they're thinking of going into teaching or the education world, and they're using tutoring as a chance to do that. So obviously having someone who's already just finished a teaching career to be able to like have conversations and share, like you say, share knowledge is something really special.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, I'm going to pop your slides up and it'll be great to hear a bit more in detail about Action Tutoring and how you work and the impact that you guys have, which is incredible.
Thanks, Katie. Okay, so we're Action Tutoring. Just to say, if anyone has any questions throughout the slides, please feel free to comment and we can get to those at the end. And also feel free to say where you're based in the country or what you're looking from today, and yeah, any questions or anything like that. So I'll get started. So we're at the charity Action Tutoring. I've been here for 5 years in various roles, and we started in South London 13 years ago to support children from lower income families who are, as you all know, statistically less likely to achieve academically than their better off peers in school. And we want to level the playing field, and we do that through volunteer tutoring. Just next slide. Oh, I can do it, actually. I realised. I thought I could do it. It's fine. Okay. As I mentioned, this is our aim. We don't want any child to be limited by their socioeconomic background. So equal opportunities for all, no matter how much money you've got at home or what's going on at home. So why do we matter? Unfortunately, disadvantaged pupils are on average 19 months behind their peers by the end of secondary school, which is a really, really long time for a young person. It's probably 19 months is just almost like 2 academic years. So that's quite a lot. The attainment gap is the widest it's been for the past 12 years. Partly due to COVID and obviously school funding, which I'm sure many of you will know about and be affected by. So in 2024, just 44% of disadvantaged primary school pupils met the expected standards at the end of primary school. And then that is a marker, which means that obviously if they don't do so well by the end of primary school, they're less likely to do as well by the end of secondary school as well. And so they're less likely to achieve that pass at English and Maths GCSE. So I'm going to continue to just talk a bit about Action Tutoring and our impact, and then I'll move on to talk about what opportunity we present for you guys, and why it might be of interest to you as somebody who's had a career in teaching and might want to continue having that kind of like one foot in the classroom, but it definitely not be full time with the whole class. So save your energy and enjoy your time after teaching. So I'll just allow me to divulge and talk about the history of Action Tutoring for a little bit, and I think I'll only be talking for about 10 to 15 minutes total. So a bit about our impact in secondary schools. So those we've got some statistics on the board. I think that it's really interesting to see that compared to disadvantaged pupils nationally, if they work with us and if they receive 10 or more sessions with Action Tutoring, they're more like at least 10% more likely. That's what these kind of bars are showing, to pass their maths and English. I'm not sure why the percentages have kind of shifted around there. I think it might be how we uploaded the PowerPoint. But we can still see everything, which is good. So and then it's slightly more in primary, which is interesting to note as well. So we take figure, the impact that we have is really important to us, and we take figures of how pupils receiving pupil premium funding are doing nationally, and then we analyse how our pupils are doing. And then again, in primary schools, they're more likely to get their expected standards in maths and reading if they work with us for at least 10 sessions. So basically, we're really, really proud that it shows that actually our intervention does have a tangible impact. And I was mentioning to Katie before the call that we've got some exciting figures that have come out from just the previous academic year that I'll be integrating soon into the slide deck, just to show how well our pupils performed academically in this year just gone. So, I'm hoping this video will work because I've never used it on stream and never had to press play on StreamYard. So I think I might be one that I have to share after. Yeah. Normally, for everyone to know, I've got a lovely video here with our pupils and teachers and schools talking about the impact. But we'll make sure that we share that in the links with you guys after. And it'd be interesting as well for you to share that video on with anyone you know in schools who might have a lot of pupil premium children who might be interested in us coming in to do the volunteering in schools as well. Not just you guys coming on board to volunteer as a tutor yourselves. So where are we in the country? So this map shows where we are. Hopefully it aligns with where some of you guys are based. We have actually just had a few more schools come on board in Dorset as well, and in Manchester. So those are some new additions. We're really proud that we work with around 150 schools each year, that we work with nearly 2,000 volunteer tutors each year, some of them online, some of them in person, and around 6,000 young people with a near even split of just over 3,000 primary school age and just under 3,000 secondary school age in last year. So we feel quite proud that we're a well-oiled machine in terms of supporting people to do their best, so supporting the children to do their best, supporting the volunteers to do their best as well. The children that we work with are in year 5 and 6 in primary school and year 7, 10 and 11 in secondary school. We work with just those eligible for pupil premium funding or who are classified as disadvantaged in other ways. That could be kids in care or who have refugee status, or who the school have kind of told us that they definitely wouldn't be able to access private tutoring outside of school, and that child is really keen to help for some extra help. We support pupils who are working just below their age-related expectations at GCSE level, so grades 3 to 5. What's lovely is if you're all teachers, you'll all know about the grading system, because I know it changed quite a few years ago, but when I give these presentations to some people, they're still really shocked that it's not A star, A to the letter system, but you will all know that. So yeah, we're really trying to aim for those who are at a 3, 4 and 5, so we can make sure that we secure that pass for them, or we get a better pass for them. So as I mentioned before, we go into schools in a group. We do it online or in person, and we match around 20 children to around 10 volunteers. So you'll notice that it is a 1-to-2 ratio on average of having two children per tutor. The reason for this is that we get to help more children, because there are a lot of children out there who want the support. Another pretty good logistic reason is if a child is ever not in school or has to miss a session, that sessions can still take place with the other child in the group, so that no one's ever completely missing out, and it's not wasting anyone's time in terms of coming in and preparing the session. We want to make sure that we don't end up in that situation. So yeah, and then we get a lot of children who actually enjoy the fact that they get a little bit of that banter with someone in their class, and they find it a bit less intimidating, because a lot of pupils at school don't work one-to-one with a teacher or an adult, so it's quite intimidating for them to be in that kind of situation. So having another peer there can help change the dynamic. Each tutoring session lasts for an hour, and we concentrate on maths or English tutoring, or both, if you're one of those magical people that can teach both. I'm proud to say that I didn't used to be one of them, but my primary maths is pretty good now. Secondary maths, not quite. I'd have to go back and do some extra work on that. So that's the kind of bare bones. And as I mentioned earlier, it's nice because it's only an hour. So compared to going from a whole teaching schedule all day, every day, if you're wanting to kind of keep your foot in the classroom, or, support these other people who are wanting to be volunteer tutors as well, and have conversations with them about teaching and your experience, maintain connections with the young people, but only the commitment is only an hour. So that's quite nice. It's an hour for roughly a school term. That depends on where we are in the academic year. So if you wanted to help from now, we'd ask you to help until Christmas at least, or until the following half term in February. It's at the same time and day every week, and you get to choose from quite a long list of options. And so you choose one that fits into your schedule. And you can choose all of the criteria. So, which age group you'd like. I have to say, at the moment, we are really, really needing more secondary maths tutors, particularly online. So if anyone has any experience in that, or knows anyone who might be interested in that, that would be amazing. But we also do have the other options available as well. And the sessions start between 8 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. So they run in the hour before the children start school, or the hour just after their school day, or during the school day. And that's essentially so that they can tag it onto their school day, because all tutoring takes place from school, whether it's in person or online. The children will always be accessing it from school. So yeah, sometimes we get questions around, I'm only free at 6 p.m. But unfortunately, logistically, it's a bit of a challenge for us to have children dialing in from home and all of that. So those are the times of the sessions. And eligibility, I probably don't think I need to go through this with you guys. If you're teachers already, you're definitely eligible. But just so you know, obviously we're open to volunteers from all sorts of different areas of life experience. So we have students who come on board, and we ask them to at least have A levels and to be studying towards a degree. That's kind of our minimum criteria. And then a commitment to supporting their progress. Yeah. So in return, we provide a really supportive experience. There's online training, optional development, webinars online. There are meetups with other volunteers in person and online ones. We've got like quizzes that happen, both in person and online events, depending on where you are in the country. So we also have a program coordinator. So each child is linked to a coordinator member of staff with Action Tutoring, and you can talk to them about how it's going. We create all of the lesson plans, all the resources. And that's well integrated into an online teaching platform called Vedemo, and in-person booklets. So you don't need to do any planning. All of that time is cut out as well. And then we help with DBSs if needed. So I'll just put up some of these thank you cards. I'm sure you will have received many of these over the years. And yeah, just to expand a little bit on my slide deck there, just to say that I think, it could be a really interesting experience to keep your foot in the classroom, and to help a charity like us with your expertise as well. Because if you've been teaching for a long time, there might be areas that you think that we could do better, or resources or games. When you look at our materials that you might be able to kind of get involved in as well, in terms of like giving advice to us as an education charity, if that's something you're interested in. So I'll end there, and then maybe Katie and I can just continue the conversation and see if there are any questions, or anything you think I might have missed, Katie.
No, I think that's amazing. And I think as well, like going, keeping your foot in the door is something, whenever I talk to teachers, it's not always about leaving teaching. They still want to make a difference. And this is such a nice way to make a difference without the headache of trying to find tutees yourself, or, setting up your own business. It's a really nice way to kind of give back, and all your expertise that you've honed in the classroom can be used here. And the fact that you've got these resources, and they are really high quality as well, aren't they? They're written by teachers, they're aligned with obviously whatever level you're at, they're aligned with that. So it's really nice. But also the fact that you listen to your teachers as well. Have you had teachers start to start off with the 1 hour and then get a bit addicted?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, we have our like volunteer champions each year who we give awards to, and who've actually, even one of them, a guy called Frank, he does 4 or 5 sessions in a week. Obviously, if you're retired and you've got time and you enjoy it, there's no limit. And Frank actually came with us to an awards ceremony with the King a few years ago, and with our CEO, to receive an award for his services. So not that I'm not saying that could happen for everyone, but we have a lot of people. Like I say just 1 hour because we have people who, for them, that's like they don't have the time to do more. But our champions do 4 or 5 a week.
Yeah, I can imagine. And it's nice that you've opened up into new areas as well, isn't it? So, there's more opportunity for people who are outside those dots, that they can get to those places. What are your plans for the future then, in terms of opening up more areas? What's your focus?
We're always open to conversations with schools across England. And any connections, or if anyone wants to pass contact details on, they're really welcome. It's just we just need to have a conversation to make sure that they've got enough premium pupils to make up the 20 cohort, and that sometimes is can be a barrier for whatever reason for a school. But if they've got enough of children in pupil premium, then we're here and ready to either help online or in person.
Well, that's fantastic. So they can get in touch with you and say, look, I think my school is. Wow, that's wonderful. Absolutely. As well. And can you tutor at your own school?
So we would have to then become a part. They would have to then become a partner school. So yeah, we for logistic reasons, basically, we have to kind of run it as that group of 20 children, and then we arrange for like a block of tutoring sessions, and there is a contribution from the school as well for tutoring. Nothing at all near how much it would actually cost to have paid individual paid individual tutors coming in, but it's still obviously like as a charity, there are costs of all sorts of staff and logistics that go into it. But yeah, we're really, really keen to have more conversations with schools.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I like the story about Frank. Are there any other stories about teachers who maybe were teaching but also doing a bit of tutoring on the side for you? Because I know sometimes teachers like to sort of work a few days a week and then do something else with their extra time. Do you have a few people like that on your books?
We've definitely had those, quite a few who are retired teachers who want to still be teaching and working with children in some capacity. And then we've also got, on the other end of the spectrum, those who wanting to gain experience in teaching to go into teaching. And so some really lovely conversations can end up happening between those kind of different groups. And we also get quite a lot of corporate volunteers who are actually getting a bit sick of their corporate lives and want a job with more heart and soul, and they use tutoring as an experience to trial and to try and see if that's something they want to do. So it's like, can be really, you meet some really interesting people when you go into the programs, not just the children but the other adults there too.
Yeah, so a few people from all walks of life as well.
Yeah,
yeah, that's nice. Yeah, and I know some corporates, they give off like they give a sort of day a month or something, don't they, to for people to volunteer. So it's always a conversation that you can have with corporates about doing something like that. And
because sometimes what they're allowed to do is split that day of 8 hours into 8 volunteering sessions rather than a whole day, because obviously we can't provide a whole day. So we've got a corporate team who've got magic ways of trying to make that happen.
Yeah, I can imagine the logistics with that would be quite tricky, but that's amazing. The other thing that I was thinking as well about conversations that I have with mothers who have maybe stepped out of teaching for a bit to raise their children, and then they're ready to get their foot back in the door, but not fully. This is quite a nice way, isn't it, to get back into teaching and kind of remember what it's all about and find your passion for it again before you apply for a sort of full-time role.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have had lots of people in that situation who are wanting, like you say, just to get that experience again and a feel for it without the full commitment, because teaching is, it's demanding. It is demanding energetically. And whereas this is kind of a lot more, it's like a little microcosm, reduced, bite-sized.
Wonderful. And so what's the next steps then? If we've got some teachers who are really keen to find out a bit more information, what's the process like for them? What's the first thing they should do?
I'll just go back. So next steps will be to go on our website and apply. So I can, I don't think I'm in the chat, but I can share the link to apply with you all through UKT on our website. The application form takes about 10 minutes, should be very straightforward if you've been a teacher already. And then after that, I think I did have a slide for this. You receive a response from us within a few working days. And then you're offered the online induction training. Oh, thank you. That's the right page. Yeah. The online induction training is 2 hours long on Zoom. As a teacher, you might be really familiar with a lot of the content, but we do ask everyone come to it. It's our main way to make sure everyone has the compulsory safeguarding training that you need to, work with children, and to ensure that everyone has had that before going into school. So it's all of that's been covered. And then it's a DBS check, which I'm sure you'll have already. And then you'll be ready to sign up to a program. So yeah, the programs last for between 10 and 20 weeks, and they're an hour long a week, and you would get all the resources, all the teaching materials in advance. And then, yeah, that we'd just kind of go take it from there.
Yeah. And I would definitely recommend, if you're interested in Action Tutoring, to check out their social media platforms. What platforms are you on, Lila? Because they're actually really good videos that they do, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, and I'm going to make
Interesting.
sure that video that I wanted to share in this slide deck is shared with all of you guys, because there's some really lovely children talking about tutoring, but also schools and teachers talking about what they get from it, and schools across the country as well. But yeah, we're on all the social handles that you could think of. So if you just Google us, Action Tutoring, or look on each platform, we'll be there. So yeah, do give us a follow.
Yeah, it is good. There's some great videos on there, and some great ones of tutors talking about their experiences too. And it's nice just to sort of have a snapshot, isn't it, of what it's like and the impact you have before committing. So definitely check out their socials.
And
Fantastic.
one thing I forgot to say is that we also welcome people to be cover tutors as well. So if for whatever reason right now wasn't the time for you to commit for 10 weeks for an hour, then you could still go through the process and apply and say in your application form that you've got all this experience, that you're a teacher, but you want to just be there for cover at the moment. And then you would basically get a list of, when other tutors are unwell or away, and then just kind of do the occasional session that way.
Oh, that's great. That's really nice. So another way that you can kind of
Yeah.
help out as well, which is fantastic, because, that, natural things happen, don't they? And, people have plans and go away, but definitely, especially this time of year, the back to school lurgy, I'm sure a few people are suffering from that at the moment. So
it's true.
Nice.
But then also, Katie, all the people who don't work in schools, they're wanting to go on holiday now.
That's a very good point.
It's not school holidays.
Slightly cheaper, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
wow. So that's a really nice way that you can sort of dip your toe in the waters without sort of committing every week, and, really helping, this wonderful charity. And it's such a good charity, isn't it? The work you're doing is massively important, and I can't thank you enough for coming on and talking about it and sharing a bit more details about it with our audience. And this video will stay live on YouTube, and we will share it out to our audience too, because I think it's a very powerful thing that teachers can do.
Thanks so much, Katie.
Well, thank you very much. Anything else to add, or are we finished?
No, I don't think so. Just get in touch if you're interested. Get in touch if you want to volunteer. Get in touch if you think that your school, or someone in another school who might be interested in us coming in to provide tutoring for their pupils. And follow us if you're on socials. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for joining us today. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.